You're listening to the BFF Black Fat Femme Podcast
on the iHeart Podcast Network.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Black Fat Femme Podcast, where all the intersections of identity are celebrated. I am one of your hosts, Jon, also known as Dr. John Paul. And I just want to say, as someone who purports themselves to be a donut connoisseur, please note that when I say I want a donut, I am not talking about Dunkin' Donuts, okay? I just want to make it very clear because there is nothing. They only have one donut, which is often never there. They never have it. They have the only donut that I would eat from Dunkin' is the cruller. Other than that, every other donut they have is nasty.
Who?
So it's a cruller. Crullers are the little ones that are like twisted.
Oh, yes.
And they're really soft on the inside. That's the only donut I ever really want from them. But a lot of people like to be like, oh, Dunkin' is so good. Good where? Is the good in the room with us? Because I have never had a Dunkin' Donut that has made me go, oh, this is tasty outside of that cruller. So I just want to say that for anyone who listens and who knows me, that if you're ever going to see me and we're going to be out passing, don't ever offer me a Dunkin' Donut because it's nasty. Now, what I will say is this, for people who ask, John, what is a good donut? If you are from Southern California, Randy's Donuts are top tier. I don't care what anyone says. Randy's Donut is the donut of all the donuts. Then next, you can give me a sidecar donut. Have you ever had sidecar?
I had.
Where's you should, because I think there's one.
I know. I want to say yes. Yes.
They're the more fancier, more expensive donuts.
Sidecar. Yeah,
they are fantastic. Yeah. Or you could just give me a regular pink box donut from one of your corner donut shops. Like, girl, the pink box donut where they fry chicken too. If you're from LA, you know.
I know that's right.
Yes. If you know. I've never asked this question for you, girl. What's your favorite kind of donut?
I'm an old fashioned type of bitch. I love me an old fashioned.
So the buttermilk? You like a buttermilk bar?
Yes. Okay. So they're the circular ones, but they're like the rings with like crumbly edges. They like gears. They're like gears. That's shit I fuck with.
I know which one you're talking about, girl.
The donuts bomb. That and a maple bar. Ooh,
yeah.
I love a maple bar, bitch.
Glory. A twist passion. Too. A twist could give it. Ooh, shake your titties, honey. Because girl, a twist.
You want a twist, mama?
You want a twist? Yes. But how are you, my love?
Okay, first of all, I'm not gonna hold y'all. I cannot stop looking at myself right now. First of all, this shirt with the little tunic moment, it's giving with the gold chain, bitch. This like off-white, low, like ivory moment, cute. The hair, baby, get into this hair.
Yes,
the hair is cute. The brows are browing, bitch. Who needs Botox when you got braids?
Okay, but you also are black, so
I mean, wow.
I mean,
wake that shit up. With the nails,
you won't need Botox.
People are out. People have been like, your skin looks great. Do you do Botox? I'm like, no. They're like, there's no fucking way. And I'm like, no, I don't.
But you're black.
And my lips, bitch, my lips look good too. Like, ooh, I look good this week, girl. Ooh, I am.
Black don't crack and chocolate don't chip. That's my favorite thing to say.
Fuck, you're right, bitch. You know my chocolate don't chip, okay? I am, y'all, it is your bestie, Joho, aka Jordan, aka Joho. I am in DC currently, which is really cold. It's cold as hell in these streets, y'all. I realize I'm not built for this. I'm here for the Korean Change Conference, which is really amazing and incredible. And we'll talk about the conferences in our main segment. But y'all, it's cold as fuck. I got here and it was 22 degrees. And let me tell you, like growing up in the Bay, it would get 27 degrees in wintertime. So I'm not like it's not foreign to me. But now I'm a San Diegan, and now it's different. Like now at 50 degrees, I get cold, and the wind chill and the it's Arctic. So I was like, it's cold as hell. Like I got here, I said, "Bitch, I'm freezing." Today I walked because I'm staying at Airbnb, not at the hotel. So I walked. It was like a 10-minute walk, and it's like 40 degrees. I'm like, with a sweater and a jacket, I feel good. I can work with that.
Right.
But on Saturday, so. Also, we have to see if I make it out of here or not because I'm supposed to leave Sunday.
Yeah, a storm
Sunday's
is coming
the snowstorm day. And so I don't know if we can go back Saturday or if it's to stay longer or get snowed in. I have no idea yet. But Saturday, the high is 17 and the low is I think 7.
Nope. Y'all can keep that. Y'all can keep that. Shout out to our DC listeners because I know that there are a few of y'all who listen.
And there are.
And
Because
y'all
I've done quite a few,
mhm,
stops. Like,
yes.
"Aren't you Joho Daniels? Aren't
Sure
you
am.
BFF FM podcast?" I say,
The
"Sure
award
are."
now, let's talk about it for those of you who are
No,
watching.
someone today was like, so literally, I walked by, they said, "Excuse me, aren't you a celebrity?" I was like, "No," and
No,
they're like,
but
aren't you the host of a award-winning podcast?" And
and
"Gir" I was like, "Who sent you?
name it.
Who sent you, bitch? That's wild."
Name it. Name
Okay,
yes.
name 'em, point to 'em, point to 'em.
Yes,
And
yes.
then I met someone else who we have followed each other this morning, and then I saw him again, and they're like, "Bitch, I know exactly who the fuck you are. You and John, y'all do that shit." And I said, "You know what's
I know that's right. Yes, well,
up?" So
send my love to everybody there. I'm sad I
I
couldn't
sure
be there
will.
this week because obviously we
Same.
all know mother's back in the classroom and she got classes. There was no way I was going
Mm.
to be able to kind of swing being able to be at two conferences in the same
Yeah.
month. But with that being said, I'm so happy you're there. I'm happy you're there representing the show. Shout out, I just definitely want to say this before we go into our show. Shout out to those who have sent so many amazing messages and so many uplifting comments about our wins. I think what folks don't seem to get is that, and this is why it's such a big deal that we constantly keep saying that this show is an award winning show, because what folks don't know is most Black podcasts, most Black queer podcasts, most queer podcasts don't get the celebration or get the light that they deserve. And a lot of them end very quickly. And so for us to be on the air for
And
almost
do.
5 years, actually,
Mhm.
this is our fifth year for this show to be on the air for
Mhm.
5 years, for us to be almost at 200 episodes, for us to have three awards and one Webby honored, being honored by the Webbies. I mean, I
Okay,
think
okay.
I think there's something to be said, and we have to have that in order for us to keep going. So thank you to everybody who sees it. Thank you for everybody who sees it for us. We are very grateful
Yeah.
and we
Thank y'all for
love.
loving us.
Yes, thank you for loving on us. So let's speed this up. Let's go ahead and move into our Still Here segment. Y'all know that this is where we give Miss Tisha Campbell her flowers. Speaking of Tisha Campbell, she has a new movie coming out that actually looks really fucking good.
I
On
cannot
She's
wait
in
'cause I
that Be
love
Happy
her.
movie on Lifetime.
Ooh, okay.
So I wanted to
Ooh,
shout her out because
come on,
she ate
Lifetime
the
movie.
clip I saw, she ate down every single scene that she was in. And I was like, okay, Tisha, she back to her real acting. So I
I know,
want to
that's
give
fucking
her
right.
her flowers. We love her, so proud of her. And I'm very happy that she is ultimately out here shining and thriving. But with that being said, I just got back, as we were talking about, and we're going to be talking more about conferences in a second. I just got back from FatCon, where I had a glorious fat ass time. I wanted to ask you, and this is also partly too selfish because, as you know, I'm currently working on a project that is very fat centered and really thinking about this idea. And this is where kind of the conversation started, or I would say it was extended, was at FatCon, asking the question to set the stage for what we're going to be talking about more in this episode. I want to talk about the age. Well, one specifically, I wanted to ask you the question, being in the age of Ozempic, and folks, in my opinion, I don't know if it's your opinion, but I know it's my opinion, and
Mhm.
I will fully take whatever tomatoes people throw at me. There are a lot of folks who are using GLPs for the wrong reason, right? There are folks
Mhm.
who need GLPs, right, in order to regulate whatever they're dealing with. But there are some folks who are just doing it out of sheer vanity. I wanted to ask you, how are you glorifying fat? Whether it be at this conference, whether it be in your life, whether it be your day to day. I'll go ahead and share with you my thoughts, and then
Mm.
we'll go ahead and jump to you. So first, I wanted to say, shout out. I just want to say, I mean, I can't shut up about it because I honestly, and again, we're going to talk more about this. I've never been to a conference where I didn't want to leave, if that makes sense. Like, I actually was really fucking sad on the Sunday when I had to like pack up my stuff and like
Makes a
head.
lot of sense, yeah.
Yeah, it felt, it was literally very, like, it literally uplifted me in a way. And so I don't know if anyone who's listening to this, if you've ever heard of FatCon, it happens in Seattle every year. Please go. Like, I'm hoping me and you, Joho, can go next year together. That,
Hell
like, for
yes,
me,
hell yes.
that would be such an amazing thing. But anyway, I want to say that I went into that conference with very little expectations because honestly, I hate conferences, and I'm going to talk more about that later. But coming home, I felt like the conference really helped me understand the, not only just the next chapter of the work that I have to do, both emotionally, personally, and professionally, but I also think that it helped me understand what platform we have to encourage folks, specifically male presenting or mass presenting folks, what it means to struggle with disordered eating and body dysmorphia. And I also want to say, like, shout out to our producer, because that was one of the things we were talking about before we came into the show. We were talking about how a lot of folks talk about eating disorders, or they talk around eating disorder, or they even talk around fat, but they never talk about what causes these things. And so it
Yep.
was really cool to be in a space where I could openly say, yeah, I had an eating disorder and this is what caused it. Or for someone else to say, I'm still struggling with my eating disorder and these are all the reasons why. And so that really helped. But what I also say is, I know we dance a lot around the idea or the concerted effort of going forward in terms of like fat justice and things. But I really think when we talk about how am I glorifying it, I really think that speaking directly to it, really speaking about you, or even naming, and I know we've done this, and obviously, like I said, we're in episode 187. We've
Mm.
talked about there's no way for us to talk about fatness without talking about racial issues or talking about oppression or talking about transphobia, because they're all interlocked. And so I think that's going to also be a big crux of a lot of what I write, hint, hint, and create in the next couple of months slash years. I want fat people to be seen as more than someone who is vying to love themselves and struggling to do so. And I even posted this. I'm sick of like, I wish we could celebrate Lizzo for Lizzo being Lizzo and how talented Lizzo is. Like every time we see Lizzo,
Mm.
it's always tied back to her weight, and I'm sick of it. And so it's like I think I want the world to see us as whole
Mm.
people, pun intended, who are literally happy, full, and healed. Like not every fat person you speak to is going through something or hates their body or hates where they are in life. Like we are happily healed people. Like we're just fat, and we're like, if you left us alone, we'd be 110% good. So yeah. So how are you glorifying fat?
I'm thinking about this, especially after hearing. I don't know if you saw Amber Riley's stories recently,
Kind of.
but
Yeah.
she
She's
she
something
posted
happened to her,
like
right?
a full story. Yes, where
Mm-hmm.
this person like this person like Amber was existing in life.
Mm-hmm.
Went to see a friend for brunch, right? Maybe dressed a bit more like maybe like dressed like a bit more mask, right? Um, and the and this person kept this dude like kept making her uncomfortable, like was like making points
Mm,
about about her fatness, was being homophobic towards her as well too. It was just a lot of things, right? And so I'm thinking about
mm,
this as you ask this question of how you're glorifying fat, because like just existing in public as a fat person for some people is they feel like you're glorifying fat, right? Like,
yep.
how dare you be fat in public? I think a lot about when I fly, right? Especially if I'm going to fly coach or economy, and I'm sitting right in these cramped seats. I'm worried. Like, I worry about this person next to me. Are they going to be like, oh, this fat bitch? But the part of me is
Mm,
like,
suffer.
like, well, like I'm suffering too at the end of the day, but
T.
like I'm
Yeah.
suffering too, but why are we not pointing at the systems that put us in these positions, right? Like,
Yep.
why are we pointing at the systems of an airplane that was designed for thin people to make the most money and not designed for actual comfort for anybody? Because like
Yeah.
no one's actually comfortable. Like no one actually likes the middle seat, regardless,
No.
right?
No.
So like like what like I get that it would be maybe be anti-capitalist, but like would you like to design a plane where everyone has two seats and the seats are a bit more spacious for each person? Like how amazing that
Mm-hmm.
would be. And so I think I'm thinking about that. Like I'm glorifying fat by constantly challenging policies and systems around me to say,
Yeah.
let's stop blaming the fat person for being fat, but blame the systems that oppress them for being fat in the first place, and right, like, and the systems that glorify thinness. Like we should discuss the
Mm,
systems that make you believe that thin is the best thing you should be in the world,
right.
because like that is not the end all be all for me. Um, and that is not the end all be all for like that should not like I think if people want to aspire to change their bodies, they should. And I like my vision of liberation that people can do what they want with their bodies, but we should not be moving as if being thin is going to save you and solve all your problems in the world. It doesn't. And I think my I glorify fat by saying I actually can build a life I want to build as a fat person. Like I can live an amazing
Mm-hmm.
life with fat. And like my fatness doesn't prohibit me from living that life. What prohibits me is the structures around me that are designed to make me feel prohibited in the first place.
Yep.
And so
Yep.
I really want like I think I push that thinking, and that to some people is glorifying fatness, but to me it's actually about glorifying accessibility for all people, because everyone should
See.
be able to access life and live life in a meaningful way,
Mhm.
regardless of what they look like, or regardless of what they look like, or or what their abilities are, and that's why
Yeah.
I think people need to think about more.
Mhm.
And then I'm also, I think a lot about like centering fatness. Like I will say in this conference right now, right? There's like a lot of these sessions, the chairs are so close together, and I'm like, this is
Yep.
not fat friendly, right?
Nope.
Like we're trying to get everyone in here, and I understand why, but like, why don't we like how are people comfortable, right? Fat folks don't have to apologize for taking up space when like the issue is actually the spacing of the ballroom. The issue is the spacing of the hotel. Like, and I get it, right? Like it's easier to
Mm.
blame the person than blame the designs, the systems, and architectures around us. But
Yeah.
I'm really tired of placing blame on people for just living, right? It's I think I love blaming people for a lot of things, but like things that they actually like are bad for, right?
Yeah.
Like being a bad person and homophobia.
One
In
thing
fact,
that Jordan is gonna do, she's gonna point her finger, which no shade. But again, the one thing I know about my sister is she is going to point her finger at
but
you.
I only point fingers at those who deserve to have be pointed at.
Right.
I don't
Right.
point fingers at people
Hey.
that don't deserve to be pointed at. Like, right?
Right.
I point fingers at the bullshit that we have to experience. And
Right.
so like stop pointing fingers at us as people, start pointing fingers at the things that keep us locked into these systems, right?
Right.
Do you know why the cage bird sings, girl? I do, and I'm not trying to be in that cage no more, bitch. Goddamn.
Why is the bird in the cage any goddamn
You
way?
what
Me and my husband was saying that. That's
that's
like,
my
who has
point. That's
birds?
the point.
Why
Like,
are
you're
we in
asking
a
people that
fucking
no one's
cage?
asking why is the cage there in the first place? How'd the bird
Right.
get to the cage? Everyone's asking why is the cage bird sing? No, fuck the bird. Why'd the bird get in the cage? Who has the cage? Who
Yeah.
has the cage? Like,
The key
think
to the
critically,
cage,
y'all.
honey. Yes.
Okay,
Yes. Tell me what you do successfully, quickly. Like
quickly.
make it make sense.
Quickly, God,
Yes.
I
Make it
gotta put
make
me
sense.
first. Lucius, I gotta put me first.
Yes, we gotta
Where?
put you.
Who has the cage? Anyways,
Yes. No, when I'm with you when you write, and when you write, you write.
when you're
And
right.
right now you are right. And so with that being said, I agree with all of that. Like we have to, and I think that's the biggest thing. Like, why are we always blaming fat people for systems that they literally are trying to survive in? These systems were not built for us in any capacity. And so yes, I appreciate you naming that, because I think that's one of the things that we oftentimes overlook, is that these systems are not built for us, and yet we continue to keep thriving in them, even though we shouldn't have to. We shouldn't have to be in these systems at all. But anyway, all that to be said, now that we've given you a reason to glorify your obesity, we are going to take a quick break and come back with this week's category.
Okay, fam, we are back, and this week we're keeping it light, considering all the things going on in the world. Although, is it light? We'll find out. But more because considering John's about to a conference and I'm currently at one, I thought it'd be cool to talk about the pros and cons of conferences. Why is it so important, and why is it so important to research the hell out of them before you spend all that money to go or volunteer
Look,
there?
look.
More, we're about to hit some conference seasons, right? Shout out to the dolls who listen, who are in student affairs, who work in nonprofit sectors, right? This is the beginning of the year is all about conference season. Honestly, no one talks about how putting your life around them can be so damn stressful. And also,
Mhm.
some conferences are just dumb. Like some are like, this is a bad conference. So I'll start by asking, what do you remember what your first conference was? The things that
Ooh,
live in your mind the things that live in your mind rent free. I'll say for
yeah.
me, all my first conferences was focused on like my first like big girl conference was focused on philanthropy. And then this was
Mm.
2018. Black Panther just came out, right? Like, let me set the scene. Black Panther came out. Ryan Coogler made a fantastic film. Everyone loves Chadwick Boseman. Everyone's like, Wakanda forever. Like, people are out here doing this. Like, people love this shit. So I go to this white ass conference, and the theme is Finding Wakanda.
Now wait a
Now,
second.
Chris, I hope you insert a record scratch here. Because when I tell you, there's no,
Where was
was this
this?
where I live now?
Wow.
I was like, this is interesting. And so the organization does great work for sure. But I was
Mm.
like hearing a bunch of white folks talk about, or hearing a bunch of, let me say this, I'm hearing a bunch of non-black folks discuss finding or building Wakanda through philanthropy
Mm.
felt so weird. And I was there like, is this really happening right now? Like, no one's saying a damn thing. I was maybe, let's say, one of 5 Black folks in, like, a crowd of, like, hundreds of
Mm,
people, and I was like,
mm.
"Are we all just gonna be like, 'Yes'?" And then, like, right,
Are
then,
we
like, in
all
the
just gonna
closing
act like we don't see this?
was
Okay.
okay,
Okay.
and
Alright.
like, like the what this is, and like the closing set, like the closing plenary, the person's like, and remember, Wakanda forever. What do you know about
Please.
Wakanda, girl? Where do you
Please.
have vibranium on you? Like, it was just so wild, right? And it was weird because it was my first big girl conference, my first time in the field that I'm working in, and there are workshops I appreciate. I was moved by using philanthropy as an agent of change. But
Mm.
the fact that this whole place built itself, this year's theme off of Finding Wakanda of a Black Panther, when it was not like it wasn't made for this audience, was wild. And that was
But
running through my mind
it
every
tracks.
day.
It
And it
tracks.
tracks. It tracks. That
It
was my first
tracks.
experience.
It
What was yours?
tracks. Oh my god. You know, sometimes you gotta laugh to keep from
Not to
crying,
keep
my
from
god.
crying.
My first conference was something called so I don't know, were you ever an RA when you were in school? No? You were never a resident
I was
assistant?
not, no, and I and
Okay.
I I'm I didn't live on campus.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Of course you didn't. Okay. And you know what? You probably are better for it. So, with that being said, I was very involved as a resident assistant. I was a resident assistant. I am literally aging myself from 2004 to 2007. I was a resident assistant when I was in college. And there's something called, well, specifically, there are different RAPs. I don't know if the RAP is an acronym, and if it is, I have no idea what the rap stands for. But there's different raps for different areas and different segments of where you live. And so Southern rap, considering that we are in Southern California, was a thing for all of the RAs. And this is where all the schools come together. This is where you're supposed to have swag. You're supposed to be very like cheerful and prideful and blah 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 blah. And it's basically it's like going to for anybody who's listened to this and has ever gone to cheer camp. I know I haven't gone to cheer camp, but I've heard stories of cheer camp. It's literally like going to cheer camp for a day. And so
That sounds painful.
it's
Oof,
awful. It was awful.
oof.
And I think that's honestly where my hatred for conferences started because because it all feels so performative. And I think for me was even more like alarming for me, or at least when I think back on it as I was putting this together, and I was like, damn, I think like as I was thinking more about it for me it was the idea of not only were there just a ton of people who were trying to be the smartest person in the room and trying to be like the most creative, which is cool, right? If that's your thing, go off. But I felt like Black people in the space were often left out of conversations. Like a lot of them kind of got looked over, or their sessions weren't well attended. Like it just I moment and again, you probably know this too, like when you were younger, when you see moments that are very steeped in racism and oppression and you don't really know what the word is, but you know it's happening. That's how I felt every time I went to Southern Rap. And so I always felt left out. And then over the years, the opportunity came. Obviously, you all know I come from housing, I come from student affairs. And so when I was working in housing, someone asked me to chair the same conference. And there was just this deep seated yuck feeling that I had with thinking about yuck, right? Like
Please.
it literally always made me feel. So I think that conference was kind of like it set the tone for
Mm,
me to start
mm.
looking at conferences as like, this is some bullshit. Like, and it's not to say that there aren't good conferences. Obviously, like I said, FatCon is a great example of how conferences can be done well. And I actually really want to I think that's what I'm going to do after this, and this is just a note to our producers. I would love to get Pucky on this show because Pucky is the one who kind of does everything around FatCon, and really just talking about
Mm,
how do you create a magical space for thousands of people, right? That's literally
mm.
what that con for me was. It was like, wow, this person has intentionally created a space where thousands of people can literally just be themselves. And so but yeah, that conference really shaped a lot of the feelings that I have of like, I fucking hate, and like anytime people are like, oh, do you want to come to this conference? Not really. Like, no shade. If unless you're paying me to keynote it, I don't want to be there.
Okay,
I really don't want to be
okay.
there. Yeah. So that's just that's my thing. But yeah. It's kind of made me feel jaded.
Well, I'm thinking about like just this point, right? I thought about my first conference and
Hmm.
the content piece and Black folks not being involved in it. And I also thinking about the next conference I went to. There's a speaker about using indigenous values in philanthropy, and they had this book that they dropped that I had read before before the conference, and I met the
Mhm.
author, and I was like, this your book is so fantastic, it's like transformative for me, and people like, but no one else read the book, and I was
Mm.
sad because I was like, people are taking their time at conferences to show up and deliver something, and you aren't actually doing the prep to do
Right.
it and
Right.
demonstrates, right? Like listen, like to me, sometimes the conferences are also vacations. Like I am the bitch who was like, a work trip sometimes also vacation too. Like I love to have fun on my work
Now
trips.
let's name it.
But I also get my work done. And my
T.
and I pay attention to things. And so I think also I struggle with the folks who come and don't want to like interrogate what they're experiencing and like
Yeah.
actually like use what they're learning, even
Mm.
even in this conference. Like I'm thinking a lot about, there are some sessions that I went to that was like, this is it.
This was the final product?
The you took this pitch and not the other pitch.
Okay.
Let's wake that up, okay? Well,
Yeah.
for example, right? Like for example, like, I was in a session about AI, and the presenter did not show up at all. And so there's
Oh.
somebody there who they're like, oh, it's funny that this happened. I submitted I pitched for an AI presentation and I got denied, so I feel vindicated. And I was like, well, I said, well, you're here now,
Yeah.
you should do it. And
Yeah.
she was like, what? And I was like, you should do it. And like and like people are like, oh, are you like a conference manager? And I was like, no, girl, I'm a speaker too.
I'm a rebel
I
rouser.
I'm
I'm
just
just
a
here
girl.
to
I'm staging a coup, but it ended up being actually a great presentation. Like they did a fucking fantastic. I learned a
I
lot about
know
AI,
that's right.
and I,
Kudos to that
I
person.
was like, go on, Bethany, and
Bitch,
kudos to
yes.
me for pushing you to do it. Okay,
Yes,
I was like,
yes.
kudos to me for saying you should do this, girl. But
Yeah,
then
because I'm salty
I went,
because both of mine didn't get approved. They literally
and
said
so
no to me.
I'm
Mhm.
curious of how things are reviewed, right? I have questions of how
Yes.
things were reviewed, and then I went to another session today that I was looking forward to. That was kind of like,
Yeah, that was the one in our pre-show you told us.
no, it was not that
Oh,
one,
that was the
but
other it was a different
another
one?
one. And I
Oh,
was like,
Jesus.
damn, y'all
Yeah.
can do. And he's like, what can y'all do successfully quickly? And so I'm just like, huh. And so I still have to say, right, like I think people don't love conferences because people don't love conferences because, like, I wonder how they actually
That's
design, right? Like
yeah.
if I design a conference, I'd be
Mhm.
really intentional about who I have to speak, and I'd be
Right.
like, let's do some prep sessions so you know what you're doing and delivering,
I
and
see what
people
you did
actually
there,
leave.
prep, because you had to
Ah,
gate.
because
Okay.
I'm at the
Queer
raw
conference, come on, prep.
where
Yeah,
all
about
the secret
uh-huh.
emojis are. Exactly,
Uh-huh. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so I'll also say, since you know, I think you discussing what about not feeling included brings up a good thought to examine, right? Because you've
Mhm.
been vocal about how much you love FatCon, and and I'm sharing about like how people who do good work are left out of these conference spaces, and people who do okay work are somehow in. I'm
Well,
curious to ask you, what made your experience such a good one? Like, what are the mechanics of
mm.
a good conference for you?
Right. So, and this is the thing that again, as I'm working on stuff, I tell people one of the biggest things for me that I loved about FatCon is the idea that everything felt so intentional, like even down to like the
Mm,
little nuanced things that like people normally don't pay attention to. Like, so there were a lot of people at FatCon who came in from Portland, Oregon, and they were like, "Oh, I took Amtrak." The Amtrak station was literally like maybe 4 or 5. Like, I'm being facetious when I say steps because it's a
mhm,
little bit of a walk, but it's literally like from maybe like your kitchen to your front door. Like that's literally the walk
mhm,
from the Amtrak station to the actual hotel.
mm,
So the idea that someone would say, okay, well, I have to think about where the hotel is going, where our stay or where our hotel is going to be for people who are coming, via Amtrak or even with parking and all that. Like they like the parking, there was myriads of parking for people who could come in. It's little stuff like that that made me go, wow, they really thought about this. Like they really genuinely thought about fat people being safe and comfortable enough to walk from the Amtrak station. Got it. I think folks, and then also like other people came in with different intentions. Like I'm not here, so I want to be clear because I'm pretty sure that there are people who will be at Creating Change who will be like, okay, we listened to your episode, and Jon, there's part of you that's just salty that your programs or that your pitches didn't get picked up. I will say I am a little salty that they didn't get picked up, because I know they were good, right? I know what I pitched. I pitched two different things, not trying to make this a caveat, but I pitched one thing about working with Black and brown kids in areas that aren't friendly to Black and brown queer kids. Obviously, that's my job. And then I pitched another one about why Black queer fat voices are necessary in media right now, like because of everything that's happening. None of them got picked up. But I say all of that to say, I genuinely loved that there were people. The point that I'm trying to make is that the sessions that I went to were very thought-provoking for the time, but also the people who were in those sessions weren't trying to what's the word? Commandeer. I think that's the word I want to use. The $100 word. They weren't trying to commandeer the session to be like, I'm the smartest person in the room and you have to listen to me. I was in a session full of people who had social work degrees, including doctors, who were talking about the conversation. The actual session was talking about basically the ways that we can make therapists and make people more cognitive of issues around fat people. And you would have never known that there were people in there who had like awards for their work that they've done around as being a doctor for fat people. Like, you would have never known, because they just genuinely were in the session to listen and to hear and to learn. And so, like, for me, that's the thing that often makes me go, like, this is a great space, because people are not coming to the space to say, look at me, I'm the smartest person in the room. They're coming to the room to say, there might be something here that may help me in my practice or help other people I'm helping. And I want to take that information back with me when I'm done. So that was one of the things. I think for me, I think the last thing I'll say is that I just felt like the entire 3 days I was there, I felt safe. And I don't know, again, I'm trying to do my best not to rain on your conference experience there. But I will say, from my experience back in January of last year when we were in Vegas, and I don't know how much of it was Vegas, I don't know how much of it was the location, I don't know how much of it was the actual conference, but there were times that I didn't feel emotionally and physically safe in different spaces. And so it just, even again, I'm not going to name names. I'll name off the mic, or I'll text them to you. But there was a session I went to, and it was supposed to be celebrating Black queer people, and I didn't feel good the whole time I was in that space. It did not feel good for me. So I think for me, I definitely think that, I think the biggest part for me is having a Black woman. I think seeing that a Black woman is leading this, and seeing that people actually let the Black woman lead, is what made me go, this is a bomb ass conference. Because the people, specifically the white women who worked with her, made it a point to always say, well, Pucky said this, Pucky did this. They weren't trying to make it about them. They were very much trying to keep it in the vision that Pucky had set out with. And I just felt it. I just felt it through and through. And maybe the ancestors were with me there too, and maybe was guiding me in my own journey, and that's probably what I felt, was probably my own. It was probably more me. And maybe other people went to FatCon and didn't have that experience. And I'm sorry if that didn't happen for them. But I know for me, I said, I'm literally cannot wait to fast forward till January of 2027 to be there again, because just something about that experience was so magical and so restorative and so uplifting for me. I went in very much kind of like, meh, whatever, girl. And I left being like, okay, I got this. I got this, So what about you?
I think there are multiple mechanics of a good conference. I think like most conferences I go to are like 1 to 2 days, which I think is too short for a conference, right? Like that is very much just networking. You're trying to hit all this shit, and you're just like your time is fast, and I feel like it's not enough time. I like that you said yours was 3 days, so I think that gives actually a appropriate amount of time. Creating Change is, almost a whole week, right? Like we're here we start Tuesday from like a welcoming, and then Wednesday the sessions. But like so Wednesday, let's say I was the person like Wednesday through Saturday are full sessions, and then Tuesday and Sunday are like half days, right? So like 5 full days. And I think to me it's a little bit too long. Like I'm like 5 days is a long time, but what I appreciate about it is that you get the time to actually build something with people. 2-day conferences, you have time to build nothing. And so I think the mechanics of a good experience. Like I know my best conference I ever went to before was also 5 days long, and and it was also a very bougie conference, right? We got like 5-star treatments, but like the idea of having more time, I think builds into a better schedule for you and to make time for others and really
Yeah.
build with others. So I love that.
Yeah.
I love creating change because I'm loving seeing how fucking queer this place is.
T.
Like they took a whole hotel in Washington D.C. in this tired ass oppressive regime and made it queer as fuck. And I think that's really amazing. Like I'm seeing folks in every presentation, every affectation. Now I will say a majority of folks here are BIPOC. Hella black folks here. I think a fifth of folks are trans. The demographics are looking great here, and I
Mm-hmm.
love that a lot. I love DC as a city. Like I think it's such a
Yeah.
cool,
Yeah.
interesting city.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really loving this experience. I wonder what feedback they got at the last one and what they implemented into it this time. I
Mm.
mean, I have some intel because I know some of the folks who are producing it to know a lot of attention went into this in a different way than before. I think it's really, really good.
Mm.
Um, I do think what's interesting about this, right, is that also what a great way to demonstrate that queer folks have different perspectives too, and that we
Mm.
actually aren't a monolith, and that like I was in a session today where I was really actually getting upset because somebody made a comment about about black folks from a different country, or a different region of the world,
Yeah.
not being allies in the struggle for liberation, and I was like, and the person
Oh.
I was like, if you aren't black, do not fucking say this. Like
T.
I was pissed, but I was like, I'm holding my by my tongue,
I'm
but I
holding
left that also
space.
like
Yeah.
I'm holding but I
I'm
left that
holding
like, you know
space.
what? Like, what I
Mhm.
appreciate is that queer folks can also come in and be messy and raggedy and amazing and beautiful at the same time. But
Okay.
we as queer and trans folks can also be problematic. And I think, right, that there is
Real.
space for us to also call each other in and actually work things out together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that I'm definitely living with a great appreciation of identity-based, conferences, right? Like, I know people
Mm-hmm.
are probably
Mm-hmm.
wondering, like, why a whole segment about conference culture, but I think because there's a significance about community identity-based conversations happening in identity-based spaces, right? Like,
Mm.
the conferences are based off of my work sector. I don't always love because it feels too work focused, and this feels more like personality focused and person
Mm-hmm.
focused. And I
Mm-hmm.
really appreciate that. I think
Yeah.
accessibility is a huge topic as well too. I love that you're saying that FatCon that the train station right was right next to where the hotel was or
And I'll even
where the venue was,
not to
and
cut
that's
you
just
off, not to cut you off, babe, but I was gonna also say too, like, even from like when you come down the elevator to go around the corner to go up another elevator, the location was like, I mean, the event was there. Like you didn't have to walk
you weren't going far. Yeah,
miles. Yeah, you didn't
yeah,
have to walk miles to get
yeah.
to your sessions. It was everything was literally right there. It just everything
I
was so
am
well planned out. Yeah.
I'm appreciating that about this space too, because I mean the hotel is a big
Mhm.
hotel, but the conference hub is all on one side, and so like we're having to walk a
Yeah.
little bit, but not like a mile to get to places. All our
Girl.
rooms are next to each other, but I am thinking about right, like I said earlier, like there are fat folks, so how do we space out the rooms to actually make people comfortable? I appreciate
Mhm.
that every bathroom that I've seen so far has been all made to be gender neutral, right? Even the ones with urinals,
Mm.
all the signs are this is all gender neutral, and I appreciate that, right? It shows
Mhm.
that queer folks can coexist without having to fight over a bathroom or something. Queer and
Right,
trans folks
right.
can not to fight over a bathroom, and I love
Yeah.
that. So I think there
Mhm.
are certain I think right these are the pieces that make a place special, make people feel good. I appreciate that
Mhm.
every session has feedbacks. You know, I led at Korean Change. You have workshops, right? You have workshops which is like an hour and a half of like instruction,
Mhm.
institutes which is a whole day of instruction, and then caucuses which are like get networking gathering spaces. And I hosted
Mhm.
a
Mhm.
multiracial caucus. I was like asked like last week if I want to host one, and I was like I'll do it. And we had about 25 people come, which I was honestly like surprised. Like I wasn't sure how many it would be, and I was nervous. I was like I don't know what I'm doing. This is my first time being like presenter right at this type of conference,
Mhm.
and I think what I loved about what I did, and I think people loved it because I got a lot of feedback saying how good it was that one I came in and I was like, I'm not here to tell you and be prescriptive to anything.
Right, right.
We're gonna do an engaging icebreaker that we're going to try out and people vibe with it. We did like a speed dating type experience. Everyone loved. And then halfway through, I was like, we have about 25 minutes left. Do we want to continue doing this? Everyone said yes. Then one person was like, actually, I'd love to do like a group share. And I was like, okay, who's down for a group share? And everyone was like, great, like what we're gonna talk about. And then I was like, okay, how about you all give topics you want to discuss and we'll put them together. I was in my teacher facilitator bag. I wasn't trying to say, let's do XYZ. I said, let me take a note from you. Cause I think to your point, right, about there are probably experts in this room,
T.
but not everyone has to take that space to do so. Like people are coming to be curious and learn something. They're inviting curiosity into them, which I
Learn
love.
something
And
from this.
you learn something from this. And you as a facilitator have the opportunity to say, let
Mhm.
me also create a space where you can all be curious together
Right.
and realize like right, because I never purport myself to be the expert of like all things multiracial. What I did say is that I'm an expert at facilitation. I'm happy to guide us to a conversation,
That
which I
part.
did excellently, I might
I
add.
know that's
And so instead,
right.
I said, let me take directive from y'all of what you want to discuss. So we
Mhm.
had two topics, and then I was like, listen,
Mhm.
sake of time, we can't do both. Let's do them together. So let's do them together instead, and then bada bing, bada boom. Or actually, let me rephrase. Someone was like, "Can we do this together?" And I said, "Great, we can actually do them together instead." That way, instead of two different topics, and that felt great, right? And someone also called me in about my like I had made a comment of like stand up and do this, and people were like, "Well, not everyone can stand." And I was like, "No, what? You're right." I also said speak up, and I was like, "Not everyone can speak." So let me also like call in myself of my ableist language, and I love that they felt safe enough, like because like right, like they felt safe enough to say like, "Hey, not everyone can do that," and I felt safe enough to say you're right, right? Because people don't feel safe
Mhm.
enough to admit that they're wrong, and I was like, "You're right. That's my bad. Let me also change how I approach this as well too." And so I think folks who love conferences or go to conferences or put on conferences, these are some things that you can think about of what makes a good conference good for people
Yep.
and what your
Yep.
experience, how your experience can be better made for
Mhm.
you as the person who attends, or the person who presents, or the person who runs it.
Yeah. I was
Ooh.
gonna say I'm appreciating everything that you're sharing because obviously like you're in the conference mind. And I know some people like I'll say this when you brought up, let's talk about conferences for a segment. I was like, yuck. I cringed a little because I've left so many conferences in my lifetime thinking I found friends or that I had a good experience, only to realize that in some sessions or some spaces, folks were just passing off trauma or trauma bonding, right? It wasn't truly a moment for me to like learn. It was actually me processing afterwards, being like, "Ooh, Lord, this person took up all the space so that way they could talk about their trauma." Sad, right? So I think it is important for folks to
Mhm.
note, like, when they go to go to conferences with intention. Same way it's important for the people who are putting on the conference to be intentional. I think for us who are educators, who are speakers, who want like I mean, even thinking down to podcasters, right? There are people. There's something called Pod Movement, right? You can go to. It's a whole conference about podcasting. Going to any conference, you have to really be intentional in your mind about what you want to walk out of that experience with. And can I say that last year I had some great experiences at Creating Change? Hell yeah, I had a really good time. When it came down to going to like the ball, and there were a whole bunch of other things that happened throughout the week that I thought was absolutely fantastic. And then there was a session about, someone saying, how do we do, there was a whole one session that I really remember that I took a lot from was someone talking about the, 2025 or the whatever that right wing movement, whatever it's called. How do you how do you do it from a positive standpoint? Like, how do you counter everything that they're doing? That was fantastic. That session was probably the best session that I went to when I was there last year. But what I will say
Oh,
is
that's
that
right.
it's like again, that person who put that presentation together was extremely intentional about what they wanted folks to walk away from. And I think that's the thing that people remiss. Like people oftentimes will go to these conferences and will submit just for their ego. They're not submitting because they're truly
Mm.
trying to help people become better at their careers or at their
Mhm.
their, their craft. And I know for me, like that's why I said when I submitted from the lens of I want to help people who are on the ground helping queer kids. And I submitted from I want to help Black queer people who are wanting to get into media spaces and are having struggles or issues. How do they navigate them? Right. Because I'm doing both. Like I'm using my platform to do both. And again, it didn't happen, and it is what it is. But I say all of that to say, I still know in my heart of hearts that it wasn't an ego thing for me. It was I'm genuinely trying to help people become better. But it is what it is. But I do say this: I think it is extremely important. This is the last thing I want to say, and then we can skirt on.
Mhm.
I think it is so important for people to remember, and like you said, I'm overwhelmed. When you go to a conference, It is okay for you to go back up to your room, or for you to go back to your Airbnb, or for you to go back to your car, or for you to go
Yep.
home. For some of the people who live where the conference is
Yep.
happening, go home,
Yep.
because you cannot be everywhere and do everything, even though there's a culture that tells you have to be at every session at every time, or
Yep.
that folks are watching you. Girl, no. Like, I know they did a dance party at FatCon on Saturday, and where was I? I was in my room watching his and hers, because I was tired. I said no. I
That
said
shit
I went
was
to 2
good.
sessions today. I was on a panel, and I spent 3 hours selling 50 books. I sold 43, but 50
Ah.
books, honey. I was like, I literally have had like more conversation with multiple people in a day than I have had in a month. I was like, I am roasted, honey. I'm going to bed. At 7:30, I was getting, oh, where are you? Are you coming to the party? No, I'm staying up in my room. The party also didn't start till 9:30. And I'm like, who starts a party at 9:30? Bitch, I'm old. I'm going home. I was like, I love y'all, but I got to put me first, Lucius. I was like, I can't do this. I'm going home. So, like, I want folks to hear this, and also know, like, you don't have to always be. I guess that's the message. Like, you don't always have to be on, and it is okay for you to go to these conferences. Like my mama said, eat the meat and spit out the bone. Take what you can take, whatever else, leave it there. It is what it is. But I just, like I said, from my heart to yours, I hope the rest of your creating change is fantastic. I hope you have a great experience. Hell, I hope you meet the love of your life there. I really want you to have a great time, because I do recognize that, all of these conferences right now, especially, that's the reason, like I said, why I'm so happy that I got to go to FatCon. Like, we need to be in community with other people, even with the bullshit that comes with it. So, yeah. Mhm.
Oh, all right, y'all. Now I'll be giving you some tips on how to take care of yourself between sessions, or make a good experience for others or for yourself. We'll take a quick break and come back with what's popping.
All right, y'all. So this wouldn't be Black Fat Femme if we were not going to give you a little bit of a pop culture moment. So in our What's Poppin' this week, we are going to talk about, by the time y'all hear this, it will have been a couple of days since the Oscar nominations have come out. But today we are recording on the day that they dropped. And so we wanted to kind of talk through what our thoughts are around it, and just really kind of give people an opportunity to be like, maybe I should tune into the Oscars, or maybe I should just wait for the cliff notes that'll come down my threads, or come down, my Facebook feed. So with that being said, I wanted to kind of get into each of these and just kind of get thoughts on stuff. Maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't, maybe you saw the nominations and you said yes, 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 or maybe you said, girl, no, girl, no. So let's start. Do we want to start with, so I guess my question is do we want to talk about the big one, or do we just want to kind of talk about the other ones and then go into the big one? And
No,
then
let's do the small ones first.
Okay,
And
so we'll
then
start with the smaller ones.
okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So first, let's say, oh no, or do you want to? Sorry, I was gonna,
no,
yeah.
no. I think you're gonna start exactly where I'm gonna start. That they shut out Wicked, which I think is fucking cold.
Zilch. I was like,
they said, and none for Christina.
Oh.
They said, and none for Christina, girl.
I was saying, that is wild.
They said nothing.
Cynthia and Ariana are sitting there like, are you serious, girl? Like, I know. So there's like, excuse me, babes. Oh no, not today, babe. Like, that is, and I know John. I know. Is it John M. Chu? I know he mad as hell too. He put in 2 original songs on that bitch to get an Oscar nom.
Yeah.
And still, but I'm
nothing.
like,
why do you think that is? Why do you think they shut them out?
I thought Ariana would have got Best Supporting Actress, because honestly, she was fantastic. She
was
ate that role up. Cynthia ate that role. Like, I really thought they would have at least got acting nominations for sure. And I mean, maybe for adaptation. Like, it was a great adaptation. Like, I could not tell you. It's giving no, it's giving to me. It's giving that, like, this was, dare I say it, the movie was too justice focused. Too justice focused about should have fixed the lighting. Joey's popping up in the chat. Come on, Joey. I think it's giving too justice focused in a world that doesn't want to discuss racism, right? To focus on racism. I think it was like, I think it was like too whimsical and too free for this country.
Yeah, they said.
I'm like, I don't
I
think they
also
should have got
think
a
having
million.
a black Elphaba, I think that also probably
Yeah,
played a role in it too. Like I
and that's
think
what I
if
was like,
I
racism still
genuinely
exists.
believe, yeah, I do believe that if
So yeah,
Elphaba was white, is it? Am I saying it wrong? Elphaba,
Alpha,
Elphaba, Elphaba,
Alphaba, Alphaba. I
Elphaba,
was like
Elphaba,
Alphaba,
Elphaba, whoever, Elphaba,
Alphaba. I
Elphaba.
love. Okay, I
You
also love that.
y'all know who the fuck
I
I'm talking
love
about.
that Joey just typed Alphaba as if that made a difference of pronunciation.
Bitch,
Joey's
y'all know
like,
I can't say
John,
that bitch's name.
Alphaba. And I'm
Yeah,
like, John's spelled the same way it's
Elphaba.
spelled. It's
The
just
green
Alphaba,
one,
not
the
Alphaba.
green lady. If the green lady was
Yes,
white,
Alphaba.
I do believe that the people would have viewed, and dare I also say that if John Chu was a white man, I think that this story would have been received differently. But I definitely do believe
Yeah.
that race, like you said, racism is going to always and trump. And I use that intentionally. It's going to always trump
Mhm, mhm.
creativity in this industry. So that fucking sucks. The next one is Begonia. I
Okay,
watched
did you what?
that.
Okay. Listen, did I love the film? I can't say that. Do I think the score was fantastic? I do, because it was
Mm.
dramatic as
It
fuck.
was a dramatic ass
And do
film.
I think Emma Stone ate her acting?
She
I
did.
think she
She
did. Yeah,
did.
she did.
She did.
Like I won't say I love the film.
No.
I I would say it's a film and not a movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
It's a
my film.
film and a movie.
Because like this film, like a film is like art and movie is like fun to me. It was a
Yeah.
film. It was artistic. It's not my type of art, but
Beautiful
the score
gowns.
was great and beautiful gowns. And Emma Stone fucking ate that role because the
She
twist at the
did.
end, I said,
When she got in that closet, I said, "Oh, that was literally the only part of the film that actually made me go, okay, all right, I see
I
it."
was like, I was
Mhm.
gooped because I was saying
Yeah.
like, damn, this bitch is out here, like she is giving into the madness, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, gooped.
oh.
Yeah.
So like, I will
Mhm.
say, I think that those two noms were deserved.
Yeah.
Um, I love K-pop Demon Hunters got 2 nominations at least, one for
I've
best
not
song and
seen
then
it,
one
so
for
I
best. So good.
everyone
Live
keeps
off
saying
love
it's
it.
good. I might, and this is a big might, I might entertain watching it this weekend
I
if I
honestly
can
think
bring
you
myself
might
to
like
turn
it.
it on. I
I think you might like it. Like it has all the well.
mhm.
Do you like musicals in general?
Not really. But
That
I
that would
loved
be that'd be
Wicked,
your
but I did
okay because
enjoy
that'd be your
Wicked.
biggest barrier.
Yeah.
I think
Is all
even
the
if you don't,
music.
if you don't love animation, I think you still might like it.
I
Um,
struggle with K-pop because a lot of K-pop is no, hi friend. I mean shit, things happen. A lot of K-pop is racist to me, and so that's why I tend to kind of
that's
like
fair. That I
I tend to
mean,
be like, I don't think I want anything to do with this.
well, that's
So
not untrue. So, ooh, okay. Period. Period.
so
Period.
that was part of me when I saw K-pop. I was
Yeah.
like, nope, it's not for me, babes. It's not for
Yeah.
me.
Not for me, but
But I will
did you
say
watch
if
Hamnet?
no, what
Did
is
you?
that?
I could not tell. It's like a spinoff of Hamlet, but Hamnet. But it got a lot of nominations. Okay, so
Okay,
it dramatizes the family life of Shakespeare,
okay.
and his wife Agnes Hathaway. Oh, interesting. With Paul
Can I ask,
Mescal.
is Shakespeare a real person? I feel
Yes.
like he is a mythical
She
person. I feel like he's like
no,
the Bible.
no, Shakespeare is real. Shakespeare- Joey's
Our
disappointed.
producer is going off in the comments at me for asking that. I don't know why. I feel like Shakespeare is like the Bible. Nobody can prove that he
Mm,
existed to me.
There's literally well there I'm like there's like literal images of him. But
Okay.
I guess I wanna say portraits because no one had pictures, so I guess, like, paintings of him. But,
I
like,
don't know. I don't feel like he's
he truly did
real.
write he wrote all these plays. Like, who wrote the plays then?
I don't know. Maybe maybe an
You know what?
alias?
You know what?
I just don't believe he's real.
You know
I'm
what?
sorry. I
I
don't.
might smell what you're cooking, and part of me is like, "Baby, you're cooking something else entirely different." But part of me is like, "I can't smell what you're cooking." I'm
Yeah.
not mm,
Please. Yeah, just
okay.
like I mean, I'm just saying,
Discuss the big one.
yes,
Let's discuss
he's
the big one.
real. There's a bunch of conspiracy theories that he didn't actually write his plays. That's what I'm saying. I feel like he's like the Bible. He is a I feel like Shakespeare was like a, what do you call that? I personally
Every
don't
theater
believe that as a common belief, says our producer, but I don't believe he existed. I'm
every
sorry.
theater kid is
Mad
shaking
at
right
me. I'm
now.
pretty sure they're pissed at
Shit.
me. I am so
I'm
sorry. I
shaking.
just
I'm
don't
like,
believe he's real. I don't believe he's a real person. Anyway, let's move on. We got to move on. We
let's
got to move on. I did not
let's
see
discuss the big
Hamnet.
one.
I did not see Hamnet.
Same.
I probably never will because I have not. I don't
Same.
even like
Very
what's
much
the other
same.
one? Julia and Romeo and Juliet. Never
Could not tell you. Oh,
could
got
not
you, got you,
tell you
got you.
the first of what
Yeah.
it is about, what
Yeah.
happened. I just know Mama drank something and died. That's all I know. But other than that, no, I'll probably never watch that. Now let's get to the star of the Oscars. So from what I understand, and please correct us if we're wrong, Sinners is the film to ever be nominated in
Most
the
nominated
most
film ever.
category. Yeah,
Yes.
ever.
16 categories.
Right.
The last
16
record was
categories.
14 and they bested it by 2. So
Damn.
16, and basically almost every category they have a nomination
I
for
know
something.
some white directors' booty hole is itching, honey, because they are pissed. 16 noms, history making, but let's talk about it. So my other part I was going to say, and this is what I said in our pre-show, part 50% of me is like, yay, let's dance, let's party. But the other 50% of me is like, I think these niggas are going to play in our face. So I was going to say, I think yes, the other 50% of me is like, I know that these niggas are gonna pull a fast one on us,
Yeah.
and he's only gonna walk
Yeah.
away with maybe like best song or best costume, and
Yeah.
that's it. So I'm praying that he walks away with more. Specifically, and I always say her name wrong. Wumi, I think it's her name. I know she's nominated as well for best supporting actress, and
Oh.
yeah, she is. And so I'm rooting for her to win more than anything. But Delroy Lindo, he finally got his nomination, which he's deserved.
Yes. So excited. So
So
excited for that.
overdue.
I am, yeah,
So
so
overdue.
overdue.
Best song.
He's like my favorite actors, honestly. I love
Yeah.
him
Yeah.
so
Score.
much.
It got the Sinners score. I think
Mhm.
specifically I want to shout out I Lied to You.
Yep.
I rewatched Sinners this weekend and it was just every time I watch it, it gets better. It's one of those films that every time you watch it, you catch something different and there's just a certain score. The music
Mm.
adds to the layer of how fucking fantastic the song is.
And does.
Can
Yeah.
I just, if I can tangent real quick, I want to say, like, a lot of people didn't know. So like Pick Poor Robin Clean, like I didn't know. That was one of the things that made
Mhm.
me love the music in the film that much more. I didn't know that that was an old black folk song about black people robbing white folks for basically things that they needed.
Oh,
And so
oh.
in the film, having the vampire sing that song kind of as a like, look at us, we're one of you, we're part of us.
Mm.
They were speaking to the ways that white people come in and take our music and take our culture and repackage it and resell it back to us as a way for them to like infiltrate black spaces. So it just fucking Ryan Coogler's mind. Like I don't even go up for directors and producers or writers like that. But Ryan Coogler is a fucking genius. I like there's not enough like,
Yes.
and even Michael
Yeah.
B. Jordan, I know where I'm giving him a lot too. Like Michael B, I don't think he's a good actor. I don't. I've always said I think I've gone on record to say he is not one of my favorite actors. I put him in
Oh.
the same category as Timothy Chalamet, that Shallot boy. Him and Timothy Chalamet, they are the same caliber of acting. But Michael, he did that. He like I watched Sinners and I'm like, yeah, Michael ate in all three of those roles. He ate in all three of them. And for people who are like, John, why are there three roles? Honey, he took on the vampire role after he was killed. So that's a third role. And the fact that he played three roles and yes, he deserves best actor. He just does. I don't know. I know I've hogged this segment or this part, but I cannot not fawn over my love for Sinners. Did you enjoy Sinners?
I'm sorry, I blacked out after you said that you think Michael B. Jordan's not a good actor.
Oh, okay.
I blacked I blacked out.
Yes. You just said you
I said
disassociated.
I
Mhm,
was like,
mhm.
"What? Oh,
Yeah, yeah. I just I
thank
not to
you
say that
for
I
the
don't
time
think that
today."
he's It's not that I don't think that he's a great actor. I just don't think that I think he needs more time. Up to
Mm,
this point, I was in the mind of he needs a role that is going to challenge him more, and this role did
mm.
that for me. So, can I say he's a
Yeah.
good actor now? Oh, yes. Sinners
Okay.
did it for me.
Heard.
But before
But no,
Sinners,
I think
I
Sinners
was
was
not a
fantastic.
fan. Mhm.
I've seen it. I've only seen it twice. Like, and like I'm not the person who needs to see things. Like there's some movies that I'll watch like over and over again. But I think like when it comes to films, like films, right, there are art. I can't watch more than 2 or 3 times because then I feel like I don't like it comes hard for me to
Mm.
like absorb it again. But I thought Sinners was a fantastic film.
Mhm.
Like I think some people would say masterpiece. I don't. I wouldn't say masterpiece.
I
I
would.
think I think I mean and I see why I see why
Mhm.
and I agree that there are a lot of parts of it that is a masterpiece. I think it I but like I don't I think Ryan Coogler will have more masterpiece films.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I don't think this is him. I don't think this is his. I don't think this is his. Is it like magnum opus, right? Like I don't think this is his magnum opus. I think this is this is one of the best films of last year entirely.
Yeah.
I loved it, and I honestly probably will watch it again soon when I have time because it's a long movie.
Mhm.
Um, but
Mhm.
like the score, the soundtrack, I'm happy. I wasn't sure if the woman you were saying, Winmi Masaku, I wasn't sure she got nominated because I saw Delroy. I was like, well, why isn't she nominated? I'm glad she was because she was fantastic as well too. Like every person that in that film was fantastic.
Mhm.
So I mean, deserved to win, deserved all the nominations, deserves to win. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I pray Ryan Coogler at least wins Best Directing, that the actors all win their awards because I think they deserve to get the accolades that they
T.
deserve
T.
for their work.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just say, if y'all have some thoughts about the Oscar noms, please let us know.
Please.
If you are waiting with bated breath about what's gonna happen, let us know. Um, for now, we gotta take one more break and we'll be back with your favorite segment, Yes, I Know, and Pam's, in just a moment.
All right, y'all. So, with that being said, we are now to the segment that y'all absolutely love and adore. It's our yes, ma'am, and our no, ma'ams for this week. And this week, mine are, like I said, very simple, straight to the point. This week, my yes, ma'am, I am wanting to shout out all of my friends who are doing HIV prevention work. Namely, now, again, I am a doctor, but
Mm-hmm.
I also struggle with how to say things. So, it is
Mm.
Lana Capavir. Is that right? Lana Capavir?
Possibly. I don't know how to say either, but I'm like, it makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, Lena Capavir. I mean, like, it sounds like correct what you're saying.
Lana Capavir. Okay, so basically it's an HIV prevention drug, and I know my
Mm,
friend works for one of the companies who does a lot of HIV prevention work. And so he was celebrating it in our group chat. Shout out to him.
mm,
And so I just definitely just want to say I'm in this age or in this moment where our government is actively taking funding away for HIV prevention and HIV work itself, to see that
mm,
they're still making strides to help people living with HIV and thriving with HIV. It makes me very, very happy. So I definitely just wanted to say that. The article that I did read, it was an article in the Advocate. They were saying that there's
mm,
still a lot of, it still has a very long way to go before it actually becomes something that folks can actually get their
mm.
hands on. It's like a $20,000 injection, basically, and
Oh,
we
wow.
still have a very long
Wow.
way to go. But the fact that it actually exists, and that it's and that the studies is, or not even studies, but like the folks who are using it, it's showing that it's working to help people with HIV. It just, it means so much to me to see that. So I'm really happy about that. My
Mm.
no man Pam this week: people who continue to think the word fat is a bad word. Um, baby, can we please move on? Like, folks thinking GLPs is going, and I namely say that because, like I said, I'm currently working on a project, and as I'm thinking about the ways we're talking about fat people and fatness itself, there's just this whole thing of like people thinking that GLP-1s are going to change their life. And what I mean by that is that yes, it will. Like I will go on record and say being on Ozempic has changed my life. I can eat what I want to eat. I can eat what I want to eat when I want to eat it. I can't eat a lot of it, right? But I can still have a piece of a donut. I can still have a soda. I can still like, and my sugar doesn't shoot up, and I don't feel like I want to pass out, right? I
Mhm.
appreciate that Ozempic has helped me.
Mhm.
I get less cravings for sugar, which I love. I love knowing that I'm not craving sugar the way that I used to crave sugar. Like for me, like I would wake up every morning being like, I want a frappuccino. Every morning I wanted a frappuccino, and now I don't. I think frappuccinos are gross. It has helped me regulate a lot of my relationship with food. But what I will say is that people think getting on a GLP and then losing the weight is going to change their life, and I'm here to tell you that losing weight is not going to change your life, sweetheart. You doing the work mentally, physically, and emotionally. If you want to work out and you want to lose weight and you want to feel better that way and you want to work with a therapist to say, I want to feel better in the body that I'm in, okay, baby, I'm here to have that conversation with you.
Mm.
But folks like Oprah who are celebrating GLPs as if they're like the conversation with you. But folks like Oprah who is baby,
Mm.
like that is not a bad word.
Yeah.
These GLPs are not going to change your life. You may lose the weight, but I can guarantee you, as someone who has been on the roller coaster of weight loss, you will end up hating something about yourself even after you lose all the weight.
Mm.
So
Mm.
do the work, honey, mentally and emotionally. What are your yes ma'ams and no ma'ams for this week?
My yes ma'am for this week, one, yes ma'am, I will yes ma'am creating change. Like it really is the most interesting conference I've been to thus far, like in the conferences I've gone to, just in terms of like the people who are here and what they all do and how they show up in the world. Like powerful conversations, dramatic conversations,
Mhm.
really great experiences. So I'm really loving this so far for sure. No Man Pam is going to be, I think it's just gonna be like along the lines of the people that are here.
Mm,
I think there are some instances where like there's like for example, I was in like a session and one of the like someone was just like being such a Karen essentially. And
mm.
I was like, damn, even in queer trans spaces, a white person's gonna white still. Like, and that's just what it is. And so that was just
Karamo
like,
tried to
ugh,
tell
about
us.
that.
Karamo tried to tell
Ooh,
us.
ooh, bitch.
Hmm.
Oh, I wish we got into that because that is just wild stuff.
We can do that next week.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah, next week, yeah. So I'd say like No Man Pam's just like to like the folks who even in spaces where we're trying to be expansive and abundant, they're still trying to be restrictive with their ideals and with
Mhm.
their
Mhm.
beliefs. Like just like think bigger, girl. Think bigger. Think better for
You
yourself.
gotta think big, bitch.
You gotta
Think
think
big,
big, bitch.
bitch.
Think big,
Uh-huh.
bitch. Be a big bitch and
Yeah.
think big, bitch. Okay,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Yeah, I definitely feel that. It's always something. It's gonna always be somebody. And
Always
same
be
thing,
somebody.
even last week, like I said, was in one of the best conferences. There was still somebody who was complaining about something. I said, girl, you
Yeah,
always find somebody who's gonna find a reason to be upset about something because they just want to be heard. And sometimes it's like, baby, you just need a therapist, honey. You just need to be heard. That's really
used
what
to
it
be
comes
her.
down to. You just need to be heard. But anyway, all
Exactly.
that to be said, we are so thankful for y'all listening. Please send your thoughts over to us, blackfatfempod@gmail.com. Our email is looking very lonely these days. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Let
mean,
someone please email us, y'all. Email
what do
us.
we
Send us
gotta
send
do?
us a little something, something
What do we have to do to get people to email us? That is the
to be
question that I
seen
want
by
to ask.
you.
How,
Let
what
us know.
we to be seen in green. We would love to be seen in green.
Mhm.
So we want to hear from you, even if it's a simple one sentence, two sentence. Just send us something, honey. Like we do this podcast for you.
For
You
you,
can
boo, for
also send
you.
us your thoughts via social media if that's easier for you. We are on Threads. We are on Instagram. I'm on Spill. You can send me a message on Spill. You can also send us an email on Facebook. So I check all of them. So yeah, send us something at Black Fat Femme Pod. My dear, where can the dolls find you?
As always, my loves, you can find me at Joho Downs across all socials, my website, journails.com. If not there, you will find me somewhere where there's heat. Because I do not like the cold. I'm not, and I
Yes.
always say I'd rather be cold than hot, but this week has proven to me that's not true either. I'd rather, I'd rather be just temperate and call that
I'd
a good
rather
damn
be
thing.
comfortable, bitch. I'd rather
That's
be
all. That's
comfortable. That's
all.
it.
This is too
A
much for me.
good a good 67, 68 with a blanket, girl.
Thank you.
That's what I
Thank you. Like,
need. That's what I need with a
can't do this
good
anymore.
with a
I'm
good
not
thick
made for this
blanket.
life.
Ooh, you said when you said 24, I said, "Oh no, ma'am." I said that was God telling me not to go this year because I was like, "Ain't no way." And Aretha
Ain't no
Franklin,
way.
"Ain't no
I'm
way."
freezing my
Mm,
ass
ain't no
off.
way. My friend is in
Oof.
Atlanta. She just sent me a text and she said it is 5 degrees where she is. And I can't even think about it. I can't
Hell
even think
no.
about it. But anyway, all that to be said on my end, on socials, you can find me at Dr. John Paul online, www.drjohnpaul.com, where you can learn more about my consulting because it's open, Gary. My
Okay.
my books, catch it, and where
Book.
I will be in the coming weeks. I wanted to shout out and say, I wanted to shout out Drunk Black History. Thank you for inviting me. I will be down to the Elysian Theater on February 21st, giving a quick black run through of Polly Murray. I got asked to do
Oh,
Jamila
congratulations.
Limaru, thank you.
Um,
Jamila Limaru asked me to be her co-buddy in the work of doing
Look
Drunk
at my
Black
girl
History.
shine. Look
So
at my girl shine.
yes,
Yes.
so I will be down there on February 21st. You can find out more down to the Elysian Theater website. I think it's like www.elysiantheater.com. It's only $15. So if you can go to Starbucks
Ooh,
and you can get you a
of a
drink and
deal.
you can get you a ham and cheese croissant, you can come see me do Drunk Black History. I will not be drunk because I do not drink, but I know others will be there who will be. So it will be a good time either way because I'm a good kiki. If you want to see me on Hulu, watch Who Am I Meant to Be, where I talk all the magic of the show and how amazing it is to have a partner like Joho as my co-host. And so, yeah, that's it, honey. It's been another show. Stay black, fat, femme, and fabulous. And remember what, Joho?
We may not be your cup of tea, girl, but drink some rainbow water, bitch, because you need to be fabulous and stay gay as much as you can in this world.
Is rainbow water a real thing?
It's not, but I'm making it a real thing
I
today.
know that's
You too
right.
can have rainbow water for a price of $9.99, okay?
TM. That is Joho coined that. I bet not see nobody out here trying to steal it. I'll see y'all next week. Love you. Bye.
Bye. The Black Fat Femme Podcast is executive produced by Joey Pat and Dr. John Paul.
All content related to the show is edited by Chris Rogers.
This has been a podcast by iHeartMedia and Dr. John Paul, LLC.
The Black Fat Femme Podcast,
where all the intersections of identity are celebrated, honey.
I know that's right.